Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Universal Lens. I'm John Emilio, as always, flanked with these two guys. No, with Henry and Anthony.
Larry and Mo.
Yeah. and I'm currently in the middle. So everybody, thank you for coming back. Hope everybody's had a nice week.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Been a good week. Been a great week. And I'm excited after I got your text. It's my favorite.
Oh, but what were we going to talk about?
One of my favorite.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I wasn't as excited. I feel like I thought I knew what the topic was, but I don't.
And you know what?
Well, maybe not in the sense that he wants to talk about it.
You know what?
Well, yeah.
I think we should expose him to. Yes.
It's not that kind of show.
No, not that
Easy,
kind of
that's easy.
We should expose him to a little Dispenza.
I mentioned that to you this afternoon.
Yes, he did.
To a little Bob Proctor.
Sounds like a doctor, doesn't
Yeah, proctologist.
Yeah, exactly.
And expose you to these people that that really harp on gratitude. And I think so the topic is gratitude, and I kind of stole your.
There was no thunder to steal.
All right, but like you said gratitude.
Yes,
and that
gratitude
for me was a game changer.
But first, let's talk about what do most people think?
Yes,
and this is a good question for you. Put you on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
So, in your eyes, what is gratitude?
I think my definition would be what most people think gratitude is: being thankful, being thankful to everyone and everything, and God for what you have.
And I think that's a very solid definition.
I think that'd be a short definition.
That's a
I think that's a solid definition that most people are going to get behind.
Because there are a lot of people who help you get to where you're at also, and I think they should be included in
Absolutely.
the gratuities.
So it's a form of appreciation, right?
Yeah, I would say.
So, and he's absolutely right, right? In that definition, 110% right. Everything he said makes 100% sense.
And when you texted it out, that's what I was thinking until you started to give a little bit more of a definition.
So in the world of spirituality, more in New Age spirituality, so kind of like more where people talk about like spiritual teachers or people who do shows like this, even when they talk about gratitude, it's a very practical form of gratitude. So they're very, like what he said, it's gratitude for what I have, gratitude for where I am in life, gratitude for my life situation, which all makes sense. But in a world of meditation, in a world of spirituality, it's really a different meaning. Because that gratitude that Anthony just defined, which again is 100% right, and we all feel that gratitude and appreciation for things, that gratitude is a mind-driven, is a story in my mind kind of gratitude. How my life is good because I have A, B, and C. I'm thankful that I'm not in that situation. I'm thankful that my family is this. I'm thankful that I have, which any normal human being is going to understand and be like, I get that. But in the world of spirituality and where people who are kind of into meditation, this is where I think Anthony was like, yeah, because I went over his house before. He's like,
he gave me some definition.
Yeah.
My eyes just rolled in the back of my head. He might as well be just, reading off the alphabet.
So it's, when you're meditating and when you're in a world of trying to be, connect with your consciousness or become aware more, that gratitude will take you down, like I said before, the stories in your mind. It's if you go back to what the initial word meant, and again, in this world, the spirituality, it was more a gratitude for the present moment, a gratitude for where I am now, a gratitude for what is happening now, not a gratitude for what I have or what I am or what I can be or what is around me as far as friends and family. It's where I am now. Gratitude for the present moment, gratitude for my awareness, gratitude for being present as I'm experiencing life. And the trick when people are meditating nowadays, or they're trying to become spiritual, they're trying to become awakened, and they kind of use that form of gratitude, like they don't realize, okay, well, what happens if that changes? Are you still going to have gratitude for life?
Well, I think you should be gracious also for the bad parts of your life because they have assisted you. They have gotten you where you're at.
Agreed. No, I agree with you 100%. But I'm saying, so he's right. But if somebody's trying to become more enlightened or more spiritual. Okay, that's great. So now you have gratitude for everything you have in your life. And that's amazing because that's abundance. I have abundance. That's all beautiful. But what happens when life throws you a curveball and it's not there? Are you going to still be able to have gratitude for the present moment? It's not what you have. It's not what you are. It's just I am. It's what you actually are. Are you going to have gratitude for that thing, which is your awareness, your presence, that inner peace, that stillness behind the thinking mind? And we used to talk about this all the time, right? Lately, we've kind of had different topics, but it was always like the stillness that I'm thinking, I'm experiencing this, but behind that, the waters are very calm. That is what the gratitude actually is. Gratitude for that stillness, for that presence, for that inner peace that's there that you could tap into in the present moment which you're living. So I just thought I heard somebody talking about it today, and I was like, you know what, that'd be a great topic to kind of bring up. Yeah.
It's a fantastic. So this is something for me, hits so close to home because until I actually practice gratitude at the level that you're talking about, you're missing out. I'm going to just say you're missing out. Now, as you say, nobody has to or should or anything. But this is one thing where I say, you dabble in gratitude, you will be grateful that somebody recommended it to you. It's a game changer. However, so you know how you just mark the difference between, let's just say, a pure definition of gratitude versus gratitude as it's applied to mindfulness.
Yes.
Right? So you kind of made that separation. So I'm going to tell you that separation, the lines are blurred if you begin where you gave your definition. So begin there, because that opens the door for, let's say, the next layer or the next level of gratitude. And gratitude got to the point where I can quote that little video that you found of Steve Harvey, where he says,
I remember that. Yeah,
where he says, I don't got to go to work. I get to go to work.
Change your mindset. Yeah.
Correct.
I've seen that. Yeah.
It's a reframe.
Yeah.
Gratitude is an instant reframe. And for people that need it, like some people, I guess everybody's different, right? So your genetics, your blood type, your upbringing, you're different. You might process info different than I do. And I may process info different than you do. You have this train of thought. So gratitude for me was something like spot on. It hit me because when you're going through something tragic, you're going through something difficult, you're going through something, it's hard to be grateful. It's hard to say, well, I'm thankful that this is happening to me.
Yeah, of course.
But if you are continuously grateful, there's a practice that I believe Dispenza has talked about. I'm sure Bob Proctor has talked about. I'm sure many of the greats have talked about, which is to make a list every day of 10 things you're grateful for. If you do that list with meaning and with thought, and you truly feel so I'm not thankful for it at the level of, oh, dude, I'm so thankful that I ran into Anthony and, he hooked me up with some good recipes. Okay, yeah, that's great. But I'm really thankful, like when that feeling, that deep feeling that I can't explain. This is the part of the show where I say I can't really explain it better with my words. It's a feeling.
It's a lot of things that we talk about, unfortunately, and fall into that category.
It's a feeling. And I got to tell you, Anthony, so I was in a...
Well, I would say gratitude's more of a feeling than it is a saying.
Well, actually, yeah, it's more of a verb than it is a...
Agreed.
Right?
Okay.
Than it is a noun. But, so I was, in dumps. I wasn't in a good state of mind. And I was doing a lot of work, right? I was doing the show. I was with John. I was sharing with him, what I was feeling. And I was slowly understanding that I'm hanging on to some thoughts. Gratitude is something that sets the tone. It's almost like gratitude is a gear. Like if I'm driving a boat that's on, you go choppy, right? It's like a gear that you put on and your boat's going to go.
Yeah, but see, even the way you're describing, and so I agree with 100% of what you're saying. It is a feeling, gratitude, right? It's a feeling that gives us, like you said, this feeling of being very thankful for whatever. And even if you write it down, which is a way to do it, which is phenomenal if you do it that way. But I think even that, so from what I heard today, and Eckhart Tolle was talking about it, he kind of brought it up. I heard.
Sorry, no, got it.
That's skills.
We would have put the camera down on his pants if he would have spilled it over his pants just to show everybody.
Sorry, got it. Yeah.
Even what you're speaking about is a form of gratitude where I still think we're being thankful for things anything in our life, a person, a thing, a event, a situation, right? And it gives you this feeling. The point I was trying to make was that's a very new age way to look at it. And there's no right or wrong here. It's to show a comparison to what initially gratitude, so presence and mindfulness was very bare bones back in the day. It was, I am, right? Even you go to the days of Jesus Christ and God, they use the word I am a lot with nothing after it. The answer is I am, because I am presence. I am awareness. I am pure consciousness is what we actually are. Then we have this practical body that we live in. And this is where it gets, this is where
I'm what you got.
Yeah, this is where it gets, this is where it gets foo-foo sometimes. And we've talked about this on the show. Gratitude back then was gratitude for, like I said, having this ability to be present in life right now. Never mind what else is happening in our lives. And it's a way to anchor in presence, in that awareness, or mindfulness, as you want to call it, right? Or consciousness, as you want to call it, whatever word you want to use. When we start being grateful for things that are happening outside of, and there's nothing wrong with it. Again, it's not a right or wrong. It's to show a comparison how it's evolved. Maybe that's the best way to put it. How the word and the technique of using it has evolved into something else. Not to say it doesn't work. I'm sure it does work. But the key difference is that form of gratitude where we're grateful for, even if we're writing it down, I'm very grateful for, my health. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful because you have to, if you're writing something down, you're actually going to write, like, what would you write down? Give me one example. Anything.
I'm grateful for having my wife.
Okay. You're grateful for having your wife. It's a beautiful thing to be grateful for and should have appreciation. And you should be grateful for having your wife. But that's an appreciation for something that we have practically in our lives. It's not an appreciation for what, or gratitude for what we actually are. That living in presence. Where people get lost then when they go down this world of spirituality a lot of times, including myself. When we connect with this too much, it starts to realize what we're doing and it starts to play the fiddle of, well, I'll give you gratitude for things that I'm going to tell you should be grateful for. I'm going to tell you things that you should. We are grateful for this and we are this. And it's all coming from the mind again. And it starts to pull you farther and farther away from one thing that's basically the heart of what we did with the show. The heart of everything that we speak about is that presence, to be grateful for being able to watch and observe. And that's it. Then everything that happens after that is gravy. It's great. Grateful for my mother, my wife, my kids. And I am heartfelt grateful for all those things. Like I appreciation. I'm grateful for my friends and whatever I have in my life. But that's not who I am. And at any time that could all disappear. So I could be grateful, but what I'm truly grateful for is being able to experience life as it is right now. And I think that's what Eckhart Tolle was talking about when I heard it this morning. And again, it's not to knock down the other version of gratitude at all. It's not.
Well, I think that everything you said was 100% spot on. And the only diversion I have from what you said was that it's almost like, I'm gonna simplify it by saying first level gratitude versus deep level gratitude, which is equating with,
I can see that.
I'm here, and that's what I'm grateful for. This moment right now.
I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that first level really transitioned me into the next level.
Okay.
This is my personal take.
I
can tell you that for a fact. Obviously, as human beings, we, and I can't speak for everybody, but like, you don't come in and out of awareness.
No, it brightens and it dulls.
Yes. So you have these moments, right? So like if I'm very stressed, I'm going here, going there, a lot of things going. So right there, your awareness kind of
Because you're attached to the mind right there.
correct.
Yeah.
You're like,
Which is needed at times.
you're
I
in
get
go
that. Yeah,
mode,
absolutely. Yeah.
but then slowly thereafter, you come back. And you know what, this is off topic, but that's kind of the way I find myself doing.
I don't think it's off topic. No. Yeah.
I find myself doing that during the day where I'm concentrating on a work issue and then I have, okay, great. So once this gets done at 3:30, I have there. So, okay. So the idea is to finish this and do that. It's like,
You see yourself getting attached to doing.
right. So when I get all, you know,
Intertwined,
I
whatever.
realize it, and then I do something which provokes me to come back and just, okay, hey, that has to be done. We're going to do it. And usually for me, it's some sort of audio, video, something to just, or I've even done nothing. Chill. And just nothing. I mean, it's hard to explain how you can.
No, it's not hard to explain. I get it exactly. But that's the argument people are going to make, and I agree with you, is, well, you don't get stuff done if that happens, right? Then now you're not doing. Well, the purpose of life isn't just to do. It's not doing. It's being. If there's no awareness in our doing, and that's what we have to be grateful for having that. The gratitude is having that awareness while we're doing. Gratitude is for having that awareness while you're going through that checklist. So if you have a lot of things to do today, you have a laundry list of things to do. You ever catch yourself going through the list like a machine, and you're like one after another, one after another, one after another, like
Just happy to complete them.
just happy to complete them,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So they're happy to complete them, which is nice, right? You complete you got your day done, you complete all your tasks. But if there's no, and like he was saying, I call it being, you could call it awareness, whatever word, it's interchangeable. If there's no awareness behind that doing, then you're just a machine. You're an autopilot at this point again. But like you said, you catch yourself, which I do too. And sometimes one or two things will fall off the plate unless they're uber important, because I will purposely hit the brakes because I feel my temperature raising, I can feel it happening, like you just said. And I'm like, okay, time to break away from this, because I don't like the feeling that's starting to boil, because
No, are you trying to say enjoy the act of doing instead of the act of completing?
I think you're close to the mark.
I think you're,
I'm throwing arrows here.
No. I think you're circling right around it. So you're there. You're there.
To enjoy while you're in the middle of it, what you're doing, instead of going, I can't wait to complete it and line it out.
Yes. So if you enjoy is definitely a word you could use, and that enjoyment comes from not having a determined outcome from what you're doing, just being present in the action of doing it itself. So if you're washing the car,
You definitely didn't pull me in.
okay, so if you're washing your car, right? Okay, you're washing your car, and you know you want to finish washing your car because at 4:15 you got to be at John's house because we got to do the podcast, right, or whatever. Now you're washing that car under pressure because you got to get it done. There's no enjoyment there. No. Instead, if you wash a car saying, "I'm going to wash a car," okay, I know I got to be done, but I'm going to be mindful of the clock, so I make sure I try to be done on time. I'm going to be present here while I'm doing it. I'm not going to be doing it knowing I need to be done the whole time. I'm going to do it with a different mindset. I'm going to do it in a mindset. I'm actually going to watch myself be actively present as I wash the car. And all of a sudden, it takes your temperature down 5 notches, 100 notches immediately. Like you go from here to here.
Yep.
Now there is a side effect to that. You might be 5 minutes late for where you had to go.
Fine, but it takes away the anxiety of worrying about being 5 minutes late. I know what you mean.
Eckhart Tolle is well known for being late and missing deadlines, because he goes, sometimes I get so present I don't rush to get things done.
He must be great to make plans with.
No, he's horrible. He said, he goes,
being sarcastic.
Yeah, he'll say, my team hates me. He goes, they constantly are complaining that I don't get stuff done on time. He goes, but
I don't care.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No. That you could be 5 minutes late, or you might find yourself cutting some corners on the usual processes of your truck washing to make it, but just so that you're at peace. Because
Oh, yeah.
usually I would give it an extra,
You adapt.
and I'm not today, and that's okay.
You adapt.
Because, I'll probably do it again tomorrow or give it a coat, whatever. But you, from what he just said, can you physically see yourself and feel that difference in temperature, that difference in heartbeat, that heart rate, that difference in, right? You can physically feel it, even though you're not there, just from the description. Well, as you employ it and you feel that feeling and you feel that difference in temperature, like, okay, this mode, super hot, this mode, nice and warm. And you haven't done anything different or special other than make an adjustment in terms of how you think about it or how you're going to go about it, right? So same. So like today I had a huge list to do. Huge. Matter of fact, after here I got to go do something else. I got to do something else. It's okay. So I said in the past that mindfulness actually gives you capacity.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes, it does.
I'm going to play devil's advocate now. Okay. Does mindfulness sometimes, or that the ability to enjoy what you're doing and take yourself out of those time frames where you might have to be somewhere or something like that, at some point, is that detrimental? Like you just said, Ed Cartoll, his team hates him because he never makes anything on time, or you lose half your team because they're like, I can't work on this, or you have 2 more things to do after this, but one of the places closes at 8:00, so you have to figure out how you're gonna.
So what's the rush?
I just said,
Yeah.
well, if a place closes at 8 and there's something that you need to get done today because you don't have time to do it tomorrow, at what point? I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, no.
So
it's
at what
actually a
point
good
are you
Yeah.
like, okay, I mean, I do want to enjoy what I'm doing, but this task I got to move along because there are constraints in this world we live in that we kind of got to adhere to. You can't change the fact Home Depot is going to close at 8 or whatever it is,
On a practical level, you're absolutely right that yes, there are things that unfortunately are required to get done in certain times.
Because you know what it is, everybody isn't on that. If everybody was on that same page of,
but you could,
like Italy, maybe we'll get there when we get there kind of thing. If everybody's on the same page, it's cool. But
Yeah.
if they're not,
I mean,
you are the slowpoke. So to speak,
Yes, see, you're absolutely right, and there might be consequences to it if you don't if you decide not to rush through something to get it done. But you could still be mindful and be practical in the way you're trying to get something done at a certain time. But so I could still do something with a little bit of hurry and be present watching it.
My word. We're both blowing up.
Something going on? It's like the end of the world?
No,
if your phone goes off now, we better start running.
We're in the basement. We'll be fine.
That's true. We all best off.
I mean, you can do something with a little bit of hurry or angst.
I don't know. I'm thinking about it,
There are. But it's, again, it's
I guess it depends.
life wasn't intended to be. That's our society. I get that, and there are rules that you could choose to adhere to or choose to not. Now, Eckhart Tolle, they don't hate him, but they'll always tell him, "Come on, Eckhart, we need this done. We need it done. We have to play this in 2 weeks. We need to know what the format's going to be." And he's always a little late to deadlines because he's very present and doesn't overly rush himself. He doesn't have to. He's also afforded the luxury of not having. He can do that, right, if he wants to.
There are consequences.
But there are and again,
some people may get fed
that
up and be like, I can't work like this.
But people who are present, usually who want to live a certain life that way, usually one way or another, eventually start evolving out of certain circumstances and into others where they can live that sort of life that they want.
Yeah, I would assume you'd have to do that.
They tend to want to. Now, there's going to be the situation where a family member has to take a certain job because he's got to feed his family, even though it's not the job he wants, and that person can be uber present in what they're doing. It doesn't mean that they're always like in La La. It's not like you're in La La Land. It's, hey, I notice when my mind is putting me in 7th, 8th, and 9th gear where I don't need to be in 7th, 8th, and 9th gear right now. I'm going to reserve 7th, 8th, and 9th gear for when it's absolutely necessary. And my mind's telling me it's necessary, but intelligently I know it's not.
Mm.
You know?
When you're on the Titanic and it's going down.
Yeah, that's
7, 8, 9,
that's instinct now at this
Yeah,
point, right? That's your instinct that's kicking in.
Yep.
Yeah, so not everything is a fire that has to be put out.
Yes.
Right.
That's a great way to put it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I think a little bit of hybridization is you can sort of manage your level of chillness, let's say. Because, yeah, it is true. Home Depot does close at a certain time. I got to get there. So I think what I'll do is I'll go there first and I'll just reverse my tasks. Or,
Sure.
you know what? Tomorrow at Home Depot, I'll do Home Depot tomorrow. And you adjust, you don't build onto your angst, build onto your, because like I said, everybody takes things differently.
You're right, but my point was that awareness can lead you into sometimes behind the ball, so to speak.
To take a nonchalant approach to everything.
Yes, which is sometimes that could be good for your mental health, I would say, but maybe not good for your, I don't know how to put it, maybe your social standing, or you start to lose friends, or you lose your job because you're like,
it may happen.
And that's
you're like this, I got to be somewhere at 5
But that's
o'clock.
happened.
That's my job. And you're like, well, I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. And you're
It may
like,
happen.
yeah, but that in society,
Well,
that
it-
won't,
Enjoying what you're doing right now is
unless you
different.
live in a society that all operates like that. And they're like, I know Henry will be here within 10 minutes. He's just chilling.
So,
But most people aren't like
well, I'm going to just say this
Yeah.
to you. With your frame is either you are or you're not, because society's not going to fucking put up with this shit. And I would say that I don't accept that frame. I don't accept whether you are or you aren't. I accept that I'm a mindful person in a society that is rush, do,
Yeah.
deadline.
that. 100%.
I'm a mindful
Listen, you're a
person.
real estate agent. Nobody knows that more than you. You have
Right.
schedules. You're meeting people at certain times. You have closings at certain. There's no like
Oh, yeah.
maybe 20 minutes late. I
No.
know you. There's no way you're doing
No,
that.
you can't, no.
But
If you're on time, you're late.
I understand what your sense of mindfulness, though, that you could still ease yourself into still getting there on time, but not also stressing yourself out to the point
And
where
I think that's
I think that's the point, is that that there's no need to stress yourself out. Enjoy what you're doing. Don't stress yourself out, but be mindful of the clock. Is really all it comes down to.
Exactly, because without us talking about this particular skill at this particular moment, we tend to, like, unless you're exposed to this, we tend to wear ourselves out as if we were a tire and we're bald. By the end of the day, we're doing donuts and we'd be bald as hell. And we end the day between our physical demands, our mental demands, and our emotional demands, and thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow, which is the same as today. You just wear yourself out.
Oh, for certain.
So that's
why most high stressful jobs or professions,
right.
they are short lived. Look at special operations community, meaning in the
right.
military.
That's
Those
very-
guys, they train their entire lives for probably a 10-year career.
Yeah. I see it. Yeah.
It's mentally, in a lot of ways,
Also some heavy duty surgeons, I guess. You just can't.
you're seeing trauma day after day after day.
I get it.
You're right.
well, that's where presence and things like this could be a huge asset.
Sure, yeah.
Or a huge asset. And we spoke about that in prior episodes.
Yeah.
Dealing with those traumas and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's a huge asset.
So I'm gonna paint the picture, right? I'm just gonna say this as a presupposition, not exactly as a truth, although you can say that's the truth. Most people wake up in the morning and first thing is beep, 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 alarm, right? Oh, fuck, Jesus Christ! Like I said, I'm presupposing, but I'm pretty sure I'm close to the truth. You're dreading waking up. Well, right there, I'm going to make an observation. It's true. Knee-jerk reaction when you first wake.
You said the key word there was reaction. But
Right? Knee-jerk reaction is that. But if you think about it, you woke up.
Should be grateful.
God bless you.
Mm.
Like, that's fantastic.
That's like what Steve Harvey says.
Right?
He was a big time.
it-
He was a big time Christian. It's funny how all this stuff, which I know you guys have talking about before,
Right.
but all that stuff is all in the same.
And I'll keep going. To go to that job. Oh my God. It's almost like going to school to take that test. Oh, your belly starts to hurt. Enter the new frame. I am thankful that I got another day. I'm thankful that I'm actually employed. I'm thankful that I'm going to go to a job. I'm going to do that well because I'm going to provide for my family. I'm thankful I have the opportunity. And so as you go along, you tweak your mind, you tweak the frame, and that ends up becoming a whole new you where you can start to really soak in the beauty of life, where there is no beauty with this fucking alarm to the fucking job. I hate that. You know what? That motherfucker who's the boss. What a piece of shit. And the people. So that gratitude practice really opens the door for you to really see with new lens, how beautiful our experience here is. Yeah, not every day is roses. You know, there's curveballs to be thrown at you, and they will be thrown at you. But even those curveballs are dealt with in a much better way than not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, change your mindset.
It's really, this is where the universal lens, the actual phrase, like comes into play, where you're putting a lens on how you view things, on how you see things. And you can see things through one lens, which is the old lens, which is, I'm again, I have no data, but like more than half of the people that go through life think, well, that's life. That's it. That's how you, and what we're proposing, and which has been proposed for forever, is no, you could put a different lens on it. Get the fuck out. Like some people would say, get.
No, it's the same way of saying looking at things a different way.
Right.
From a different angle, through a different lens.
But what happens to some people, especially again in our society, it locks us in this mind frame where this is life. And I'm going to go one step deeper. Everybody's life is subjective. The experience of life is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we actually said that last week. Yeah.
It's subjective. So everybody's truths, everybody's realities are subjective. They are. So like, if you had, usually your day is framed, your reality is framed by your day. If you get a lot of curveballs during the day, you get kicked in the ass a few times. By the time you get home, how was your day? So
Well, that is where what we said in the beginning of the show, why that gratitude for presence is what gratitude actually is so important, because it allows you the ability to change your lens, like you said, to reframe something, to look at it a different way. And it doesn't mean, by the way, that it makes you feel better. Like, I'm not one of those guys who's going to paint the rosy picture just to paint the rosy picture. Like, oh, this is going to, yeah. No, you could reframe. You could be gracious for having the ability to be aware that you don't like something, and that not liking feeling doesn't change. So you have that asshole boss. You have that job that is just not enjoyable to go to. You don't enjoy maybe going to that job. Like, there's no physical, like, you don't wake up and go, I'm going to reframe it. I love going to this job now. No, that's not how it works. I'm sorry. But you're not going to hate going to that job anymore, because you're going to be looking at it through a different way. So it's not like all of a sudden, well, I can make something that I hate, I can make it enjoyable all of a sudden. No, I mean, listen, if you don't enjoy something, you don't enjoy something. That's just the nature of the beast. But you don't have to, you're not going to hate it, because if you have that, like I said before, quote unquote, that gratitude for the present moment, if you have that gratitude, that awareness and that presence is what anchors you back and makes you realize that I could take the approach of I hate, or I could take the approach of this is not ideal. This is not what I would ideally love to be doing, but I do it wholeheartedly because it is needed and required for me to do it right now. And all of a sudden you're doing it differently. Not that it makes it feel better, maybe, but it doesn't make it feel worse. It doesn't amplify the shitty feeling.
Yeah.
It kind of wipes the shitty feeling out, might leave you with a neutral feeling towards it. Like, okay, I'm not crazy about this, but okay, all right. I'm not crazy about it. I don't love it. I don't love this job, but I'm doing it. I'm aware that I don't like it, and I'm not going to fall into the trap of, because that just takes you from here and that just buries you under the ground. And now you have all this resentment and negativity and negative emotions and feelings and negative charge, and you just carry that, and that eats at you.
Well, I believe that this practice carries a physiological change as well. It's not just
Yes.
it's not just mental, so or spiritual or emotional. It's physiological, and what I mean by that is, so to go back to the car washing example.
Yeah.
So there you are. You're now that you remember that you got to be at John's house by a certain time, and you don't want to be late. Oh my God! So now that washing that car becomes, and you're like stress washing, like, and now it could be, if your mind is like mine, you could don't forget the other thing too. Oh yeah, the other thing, the compounding.
Oh, then you become a squirrel. You become like a squirrel, like a dog going squirrel,
Right.
squirrel, squirrel, and you're not paying attention to one
And
thing. One thing you're doing.
what I'm getting at with the physiological is, so your body, the human's body, under stress or under some sort of
It's a chem lab.
pressure, you release cortisol, and you release other juices or hormones that would kind of help you in that, because anxiety, trouble, fight or flight, right? So all these.
Yeah, when you're stressed and you're angst and you feel hurried and you
Yeah.
buy into that rush, your body releases a pharmacy of chemicals.
And your body releases that, and it could be just triggering more, right? So more and more, because now you're hyper aware. Oh my God, I don't have time for this. You get into that mode. But when you get into the gratitude mode, it's a release of what was the good hormone? Dopamine.
Dopamine effect, yeah.
So the dopamine counterbalances the cortisol. And when you have this dopamine rise, your body is like, thank you. There's a physical thank you from your body, which you reduce your heart rate. There's calmer waters, and there's almost like everything inside of you says, oh, thank you for taking us here, as opposed to.
Yeah, it's like having your fist closed and then just releasing it.
And so when that and the physical are aligning, and you're like, oh man, you just feel you feel special. You feel like, this is nice. This is very good. And the trap here is the happiness trap.
Dr. Russ, yeah, because this is what we said, right? The mind is like, this is why, even as we talk, we uncover more and more rabbit holes, even in our own discussion. It doesn't matter how good you are at this. If you at any time attach to the mind, it will take you down a path eventually to be like, oh, this is how I'm always going to feel. Oh, wait a second. I like this presence. I feel good with it. What happens when you don't feel good with it? What happens when you can't click back, right? Because we can't shut this off. What happens when are you okay being present with shit? That's what it's really about. I mean, that's what it's really about. That's where you get stuck. And now the mind comes in and goes, story. This sucks. And now you believe it. Why is this happening? Why can't I do it anymore? Why I had it and I don't have it now? Because you're chasing something that should not be chased. It's there. It's always there. Your mind is projecting that it's actually there. Oh no, we lost it. We got to go get this presence back. We got to get it back. So it makes us feel happy and calm again. Oh, fuck. No, that's the trap. And by the way, human being, I fall into that trap.
Yeah.
During the week, I catch myself falling into the trap because I have a thinking mind. If I didn't have a mind, I'd be a light floating in the sky. I guess I don't know what the hell I'd be. Someday I'll let you know if I come back, right? I don't know.
What's funny is I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry because what ends up happening is on almost all our episodes is we have this pizza, which is mindfulness, but pizza has cheese, pizza has flour, pizza has egg, water, whatever, sauce, and that sauce has tomatoes and salt and
Basil.
And there are days that we'll talk about just the salt, but we'll always talk about the pizza.
Yeah.
But we're just focusing on the salt today, but we come back to the pizza and the other different elements of the pizza. We might sprinkle around the pepperoni, but we always come back. And that's kind of what goes on here. It's almost like all these ingredients are intertwined and they all lock in somehow to create this beautiful thing.
And today's gratitude. Today's ingredient is gratitude, but gratitude in its purest initial, what it really means in the world of awareness, what it really means in the world of mindfulness, what it really means if somebody's on a path to acceptance and they really want to understand how the mind works and they want to understand how they could be watchers instead of being the puppet, be the puppeteer, be the one behind the scenes who sees how it's working. And gratitude's today's lesson of, it's not about being, again, like we said, so it's great to be grateful for everything you have. And I don't think anybody should go around not being grateful for what they have in life. If you're in a great situation, sure, you should be grateful. What do they say? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? Like, don't tell life, I don't give a fuck what you gave me. Because the universe has a way of being like, huh? What? I'm sorry. What'd you say? You know, so yes, you could be grateful for that, but don't attach to that, because that's not actually what gratitude is. It's the gratitude for that presence.
I want to give a summary, and I just want you to tell me yes, correct, or not really.
Okay.
Basically, I want to simplify it. I don't
Sure.
want to use the word dumb it down. That was
No, you-
out of my mouth, but I want to simplify it. And the simplification is this: the level of gratitude that you're talking about is when you reach that deep, I can't use the word, holistic level of gratitude, where that calm, present, aware feeling of gratitude, almost as if I had to feel it, I could put my hand inside Eckhart Tolle's chest and feel it. But what I want to couple is, I don't want to take away or second place that definition of gratitude, because I believe it is with that definition of gratitude that can help you arrive to your definition of gratitude.
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, I don't know if there's really no right or wrong, but what you said is, yeah, absolutely.
That's
sure.
it.
I mean, I think you need, if you put it this way, if you don't have the Webster Dictionary version that Anthony gave of gratitude, right? What gratitude probably means, and that was a very well said definition. If you don't have that gratitude, I think it's very hard for you to get gratitude for presence, because you're not even grateful for the things you have in life, or for the, for the opportunities you've been given, or the friends that you have, or the situation you're in. If you can't be grateful for that, well, how are you going to know what true gratitude means? For gratitude for awareness and presence, and for the ability to be able to see and watch, and not just, be grateful for stories in your head. So if you don't have that gratitude that he was talking about, which is gratitude we all have, yes, agreed. I think it's not that you can't get both at once, because life sometimes can just thrust you into, sort of a situation where it becomes the only door available if you're paying attention. Like, there'll be people who, I don't see a way out, and there's a door right there. All the other doors have been deleted for a reason right now, because you need to find that door. You need to open that door. You just need to realize it's there. But yeah, in short, I agree. Yeah, I think you need that. You need to understand that before you could really appreciate what like the initial kind of spiritual meaning of gratitude actually is. It's not for, I'm grateful for having.
And it will hit you. I think it will hit you.
It does hit you. It does hit you. But even with that hit that you're going to feel when you first discover it, that feeling will go away too.
Oh yeah.
Your body will act, because the body's human, and will acclimate to that. And as Anthony said this to me before, he's like, so is it about having no emotion? Like, and I'm like, no, it's just not attaching to any emotion, and it's experiencing them all when they come up. But I don't need to be happy, because if I need to be happy, I'm going to be chasing happy. If I don't want to be sad, I'm going to be running away from sad. You know what happens when you chase something? You never catch it. You know what happens when you run away from something? It's always on your fucking
Let it
coattails.
just be the spontaneity of life. When it comes,
And
it comes.
experiencing, yes, I mean, you navigate through life as needed. I mean, I'm not saying if you're in a shitty situation, you don't try to resolve it.
I was defining what you were saying. Don't search for it. Don't chase after it.
Yeah, no.
Let it come when it comes.
Yeah, it's ebbs and flows, right? Today's a good day for whatever. Let's say you're dealing with something. Today's a day where that thing. Today's a day where that thing's not bothering you, right? What's his name? Jordan Peterson actually was talking about this once. He's like, he was talking about something else, but he said something that kind of rang true when he said in the middle of it. He's like, if you're having a good day, you'd be a fool not to enjoy that good day. He goes, but don't attach to that good day, because tomorrow when you're having a shitty day, he goes, then what? Basically, he's like, then what? Right? And I was like, wow. I was like, this guy says a lot of things that I kind of, I could jive with. Some things maybe not, but.
Be happy when it comes, but don't be just totally distraught when it doesn't.
So I use myself as an example. There are days my tinnitus does not even faze me. Then there are days where it's there 24/7. I hear it. Maybe I don't hear it for 20 minutes. I don't hear it for 2 hours. Most of it comes back. I hear it. if I'm only going to say I'm only going to enjoy life on the days I don't hear it, you know what's going to happen? The days I don't hear it are going to become less and less, and days I do it are going to become more and more because I'm chasing something and I'm running away from something else. Right?
Yeah.
I know we kind of morphed here into something.
Yeah,
but,
it's all right. It's
but it's still
the end of the show. Might as well
it's still
cast in.
meatloaf.
Yeah. Mashed potato.
You can hear your tinnitus, but do you listen to your tinnitus?
That's true. That's true. And there are days where, yeah. So the point I was trying to make is if you attach only to saying,
White man can't.
I'm only going to be, actually, no, I can't. if you attach only to, if you don't have that gratitude for presence, you're gonna be chasing. You'll attach to those because you're gonna be grateful for all these things you have in life. But if you're grateful for all the things which you should be, and I'm not should be, but it makes sense to be grateful for those. But if you're always okay, but what if you have nothing to be grateful for right now in a practical world? Shitty job, financially, maybe you're having marital problems. Your kids fucking can't stand you. Your friends are a bunch of assholes. Okay, what? So what are you grateful for now?
I can help that person.
See, but what John? I think
Yes, we can, but I'm trying to give like a
right.
that practical person who's attached to that one like gratitude, or that they think that's what gratitude is. Now, what are you grateful for? So my ears are ringing like crazy today. Let's just say, what am I grateful for now?
Right.
Am I grateful that they're ringing? I don't have to like it, but I'm grateful that I'm realizing that I don't like it. That my mind is saying I don't like this. If I realize it, I don't attach to it, and I go about my business during the day, and I enjoy my day. And all of a sudden, it's like having, that little kid who's going like this to you once in a while, without losing your shit on that kid, because or else you become or else where's that enjoyment that he said before? It's enjoying what you're doing, right? You have no shot at joy because you're chasing happiness.
Yeah. And the inputs around you control you.
And you know how many times I've caught myself rushing through a job or something I was doing, and then slowing down, realizing, what else do you have to do for the day? Why don't you take your time, do it right, slow it down? But it takes a second of realization to get there. That mindfulness of, I got the time. Slow it down. Relax.
What if you don't have the time?
But that particular day I did. You know what I mean?
I'm joking.
Yeah,
I looked at him and go, watch it.
That particular day I did, and it was good that I slowed it down, and I did a much better job.
I bet you I could guess what he's talking about.
Oh, I know. He knows because I talked about it forever.
Painting the fence.
Oh, painting the door. You were close.
Shit, I was
Very
close.
I hate painting. Okay, so to me, it was a monumental project.
Doors.
John has been a painter his whole life. He's like,
That was close.
30 seconds. I'll paint these doors. It was an entire afternoon for me. You know?
Of course, dude.
But I took my time and I didn't rush it, and I was less anxious because I was able to slow it down and I had nowhere to go.
But isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how you realize?
And then we had cigars in.
Hold on, but you realized how your mind was telling you.
100%.
And by the way, I'm wired like him as far as that part of my mind is always like start task, finish task.
Yeah.
Task, finish task.
Yeah.
I start something. My mind's like, okay, we got to get it done.
Yes.
But there's that other level now that goes.
Why? Why are you going to rush through it? Slow it down a little bit.
Yeah. Like
it's a false rush.
I said in my book, there was a couple times where I wanted to get it out. And I still think to this day, I should have held off a little bit longer, maybe. But whatever, I chose not to. But I could,
that's
meaning,
why you write a second book.
I could have held off. But my mind, I noticed how my mind wanted to keep get it done. And I would take breaks and I would stop writing for a week. I'd be like, because I'm gonna lose I'm not gonna enjoy it. There will be no joy in it because if I listen to my mind, it's always gonna want to feel a certain way about getting it done.
You're writing for a deadline. You're not writing for the content.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's an example. But yeah, so if you don't have gratitude for what true gratitude is,
well, I think John's what he's trying to say is there's no problem with the definition of gratitude. No, I think no, there's no problem with it. What he's just trying to show you is that there's another level of gratitude.
100%.
That's really all it is. He pulled back the curtain and went, if you thought that was the only level of gratitude, you're wrong. There's a whole nother level. Take a look at this. And that's what this episode, I think, was about, was John defining that other level that most people don't get a chance to see. Thank you, pal. See,
what's the beer commercial? The Secchi's? I don't say much, but when I do say something.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah. But it's true. I mean, I hope I summed it up towards the end of the show of exactly what John was doing, pulling away the curtain of another level of graciousness. I mean, I think that's what
Yeah,
it is
of the
about.
actual that's 100% what I was saying. The actual point of what gratitude is, and that will help you to understand what presence and you know,
and with that mindfulness,
it's a different portal.
and with that
It's just another door
mindfulness,
to drop in.
you could pull back that curtain, is what John, I think,
Yeah.
is saying.
Yeah. And trust me, it changed me. It changed
It takes time though, and it's like going to the gym. You're not going to see results in, a month, maybe 2 months.
You'd be surprised. These results.
Well, you know what I mean? But there are people,
with mindfulness. But yeah, I think I know what you're trying to say.
people quit or people stop working at it because it's hard and you don't see results right away.
And the mind, you know what the mind's going to tell you? Same way the mind will tell you,
Quit.
why are we doing this for?
Yeah, of
Come
course.
on, you don't look any better.
I can't do this.
I can't do this.
What the hell for?
I have to listen. It's just too much. The mind's going to tell you, John, do you really want to?
Yeah, but
do you really want to be mindful right
that
now?
change in
Why
class.
don't you just complain to somebody about something that this is bothering you? Why don't you just complain about it? It'll make you feel good. Let's just come on, tell Henry how much this sucks right now. That's what your mind wants to do. But you watch it, and again, you'll go to the gym for 5 years, let's just say, and you'll still have that thought that's going to pop in once in a while. I don't want to do this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. Your mind wants to.
That's why you go with a friend now.
Yeah, your mind.
When you don't want to go, he's like, "We're going. I'm picking you up. Let's go."
Let's go.
That's why you go with a buddy.
That works. Yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing with this, right?
Yeah.
You have a group of people that you talk to, and if they're having a day where their mind is kind of hooked onto them because it's throwing the rope, and you grab that rope, it's an instinct. So you have somebody around you who understands this world and just tells you, "Whoa, wait, look up for it." And you're like, "Yeah, damn it, I forgot. I did it 4 months ago. He told me, let go." He goes, basically, you're holding on to a rope. You don't realize it. I'm like, son of a bitch, I did it, right? Look, I did it. I told you 60 episodes in, and I hit a wall where I had to do it in January, So,
We were 40 episodes in with me.
yeah, so it happens.
That shit happens, man.
So, that was today's spiel.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. You know what? I didn't say much in this one because I was doing a lot of listening. To be perfectly honest with you, not knowing much about that deeper topic.
I'm telling you.
So I was just doing some listening.
But so at the beginning of the show was afternoon. You were like, "What the fuck?" Is it?
Yeah, no, I feel like I understand what you mean now. Yeah,
Right.
well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just recommend some of the usual Dispenza stuff or whatever. You know what? I'll shoot you videos or whatever. Dude, that's what I did. It's incredible how a good Dispenza meditation, especially with gratitude in it.
I guess I'll do them again.
I have to start investing more time in looking into that because I can't bring myself to watch a lecture or something like that.
You don't listen to Eckhart Tolle when you're working out. That was me today.
Yeah, no, I
do a flat bench.
I can't find the enthusiasm in that, bro.
And as you're doing this,
As much as
you must understand what gratitude actually is.
as much as like that guy, everything he says goes, yes. As much as yes, that's it. So many times I'll say, it's hard to put into words. He puts it
He
into
figures
words.
out how to put
And I'm like, those combination of words, that's it.
You got to send me a couple of videos ones that you liked.
You can't do it when you're working out.
But Eckhart Tolle's delivery,
I will not be watching.
it's like, watching paper
monotone,
dry, right?
Yeah.
So there are others that deliver it better.
But his is
To be honest with you,
his
though,
message is a different message.
you're right. but it's
All in the
also
same world, but it's a
way
different
you
message.
provide the message.
I
Makes
use the
people want to
word.
listen.
I use
Yeah.
the word better, and it's not different.
Different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Which one do you like?
Right.
Yeah, and I've always said that. Which resonates with you?
And this is where I got cute with everything because I'm like, well, our subconscious, and I went into the subconscious issues, and meaning you can learn from your subconscious and you can start reprogram yourself and a whole bunch of other things I want to enter in this episode. But just listening to Dispenza or whatever, any of the other ones, you will get it. And then once you get into a meditation with it, especially sit a long one if you can, maybe an early Sunday morning, nobody's up. You get into a nice long one. You come out of that 20, 30-minute meditation. Tell me how you come out of like,
You gotta send me one.
you're about to wear an orange, what are those orange things? The Zen Buddhist one?
Oh,
You're about to put on our shape while you.
yeah, they are.
Thanks, man. Yeah. You're saying I'm already there. Yeah.
Oh, you already shaped.
Yeah. But you did do me a favor. Send me a couple of good
Yes,
ones,
yeah.
please. I'd like to try them out.
You know what? I told you. Did I send them to you? I told you I bought the Joe. I bought them once.
Really?
I have 5 of them. I'll email them to both of you.
Yeah, I'd love
I'll email
it.
them to both of you. I have 5 of them. Yeah.
That's cool.
I did them for a while, and then I just stopped because
Right.
I also get very basic when I do this. Like that's why I'm more of an ET guy, Eckhart guy, because it just strips everything down to just I am. For me, I get that. Like I get it.
Lord's name.
Yes, and he talks about that a lot. If you ever listen, he talks about that a lot.
I see such parallel universes.
It's not I am anything. That's what I said at the beginning of the show. Or we're talking about it upstairs.
You said in the beginning of the show.
On the show.
Yeah.
It says I am.
I didn't say anything then, but the
Done.
parallels are just
They are
with
and,
Christianity.
and he'll tell you,
it's amazing.
He'll tell you, throw everything else out the window. He goes, listen to the message of what Jesus was saying, right? Just said, it's I am. Done. Not I am. He uses that term so many times. I am consciousness, the light of conscience, light of the world. You know, the things that they say, you know, because Anthony made this point just now that the parallels are huge. And we had the episode on it.
Yep.
On religion once, and the difference between meditation and prayer, we kind of got into it.
And who was it Eckhart Tolle that said, like, you can't be sure of anything in this world. There isn't one thing you can't be sure. There's only one thing you could be sure of.
The IRS?
The I am.
Yeah.
That you are.
No, you can get around that.
But everything else is, you can't be sure of anything.
Because everything else is a story, a creation of the human
But
mind.
you could be sure of one thing.
One thing
I am.
that you are what? No. You are connected to something somehow, somewhere. And if you are,
fool to think that you weren't.
Yeah. And if you have the gratitude, you'll realize if you employ proper gratitude, you'll realize, or authentic gratitude, I'll say maybe, you'll realize what that I am actually is. Okay.
All right, I'll drop it if you're dropping.
You drop it.
Cheers.
We're all dropping.
All right. I think we're good.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
I'm going to go over Anthony's needs some meatloaf and mashed potatoes tonight.
Come on over. There's probably leftovers.
All right. I think we're good.
Peeps.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Oh, by the way, it's episode 75.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what our anniversary it is for us.
The gold, silver, platinum one.
Yes. Did you get me a gift?
The 3/4 award.
Yes, I did. I got your gift right here.
Of my presents.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Ciao.
Peace. The insights and discussions that we speak about on our show are our own opinions and based on our life experiences. If you or someone in your family or someone you know is suffering and in need of help, please get them that help through medical attention or seeking proper therapy. Again, what we speak about are based on our experiences and not intended to be taken as a form of therapy. Thank you.